a couple things I spotted why the Russians aren't going to invade anytime soon, if ever. That one, this morning, there was this report how Russian invasion in Ukraine could disrupt life in America. But what that does is, I read it, it gives Biden a way to back down and promise no NATO is going in there. In other words, they're prepping us. They're prepping us. That's the way I read it. And then the other thing is this, that Ukrainians prepare for an invasion even though they don't think it's imminent. Okay, now, hours ago it was supposed to be a day or two. It's going to happen. And then Putin said, this stuff about imminent invasion is pure hysteria. It's pure hysteria. So he wouldn't say that, and then 24 hours later they roll in. The other thing is, it's like I've said, do you really think Russia is going to go in and start killing people that are Russians? What are they going to do? Go in and do what? Just roll in and drive through town? No. They supposedly they'd have to take those tanks and fire and start killing people. You know, what I see it as a Mexican standoff, but in Russia. That Russia is prepared to sit long term and go, okay, if you won't say, you won't promise that NATO is not going to go in there and start putting up launchers, well, fine. We'll put our own NATO on the other side of the border. That if you do it, then we could attack and call it a provocation. So I do see that they could sit long term. They could sit long term. They don't have to invade right away. They could sit and wait until the mud gets muddy and they can't go in and whatever, and still send in jets or send rockets or whatever. But to go in and start killing people randomly and shooting, blowing up towns, no, I don't see it. I think the buildup on the border is them saying, okay, we'll do our own NATO. If you're going to put in NATO and won't promise against it, fine, we'll put our own NATO with missiles right on the border and just sit there. Just sit there. They could start building buildings, stuff like that, to stay there for the long term and say, you ain't putting no NATO in there, or we will attack. What we'll do is we'll do strikes with intelligence that we see that they're moving in arms and missiles and whatever, and we can do a few strikes and say, you ain't doing it. You ain't doing it. So I don't think an invasion is going to happen. Not in the foreseeable future.